Good afternoon, dear friends. It is a really great honor for me to speak here today in front of you at this wonderful meetup. First of all, I'd like to say a few words about me. My name is Sergei Shaikin. I'm software tester. I work in LiberTex Group. My company is engaged in financial services, specializing in online trading and, of course, investments. I am in the Backend team. We are responsible for all business processes of our trading platform. More details about me. I'm starting to work in Simbersoft company, which located in Dimitrov. After that, I had about 3 years as a freelancer on such platforms such as yotest.com, also working on crowdsourcing platform backfinders.com and test.io. After that, I moved to the St. Petersburg and working in R&D department for Electrolux AB company. Now I'm in Montenegro and I'm working for a LiberTex group. Of course, I love family trips and I prefer to organize it myself without travel agency because I live independence. Today is our agenda. We will talking about testing of backend. Also, we consider log aggregation tools. After that, we will consider Kibana as a part of Elasticsearch. What do we do using Kibana every day will be comfortable, and some real example on the demo I try to explain. First of all, I'd like to talk about our starting career. Most of us started with pretty simple things about testing. I won't be mistaken if I assume that many people begin their careers by testing of front-end different websites. The digital world is so firmly entrenched in our lives. Naturally, the front end is clear and quite simple, and I think that entering the profession took place precisely for such clear and simple actions. Sincerely, I prefer not to diminish or maybe reduce the importance of testing of the front end, but let's look at the flip side of the coin, or more accurately to say about underwater part of iceberg, but obviously not visible to a human eye. Always seems a little bit complicated, confusing, and unclear. Think for yourself who willing wants to deal with this. Conduct testing to comply with the requirements, which is usual, are always lacking. Either they are not fully documented or sometimes change during the testing process. But you need to test the backend. How to test it? First, let's remember what a backend is. The backend is a database that stores all our information. Also, the information is modified, processed, and written back to the database. It's also handled by various services that correspond to the business logic of our product. Thus, some kind of communication language is needed to ensure communication between the front end and back end, the database and services. API requests have become one of this language of communication. It is a mediator between all these services and databases. Thanks to such requests and responses, we are testing this mysterious backend. On the next slide, you can see how many tests passed with positive results. Maybe not everyone will agree with me, but it seems that green is a favorite color of testers. Mainly, I think those testers who endlessly analyzed and rechecked every failed auto test. I think they will understand. This slide reflects all the pain and quiet horror of the tester when he sees such a similar sign. But it all depends on the situation. If, for example, a tester working on freelancing and the size of his salary depends on the number and severity of bugs found, when this slide takes on an entirely different color, it becomes a joyful event in the life of a tester. But let's get back to the situation when you find such an error. What to do? Of course, the first thing that comes to mind is to file a bug report, describe all the steps, and attach evidence. What is the difference between a good tester and a mediocre one? It is the ability to find the root cause of this bug. A good tester will discover all details. Perhaps it just ran out of memory on the instance, and maybe it is enough to free up space and everything will work. It turns out this is not a bug at all, only a short-term failure of the test environment. To remove this kind of misunderstanding, we need to manage this process somehow. Of course, the log will help with such situation. They characterize in the great details the state of services at each specific period. With log, we can understand what really happened and move forward in the right direction. And if you study this log thoroughly, the question arises, how do we do it and where to get them? The most straightforward answer that comes to mind is to go directly to the instance and study the logs from the first source. If the service is running on the Windows machine, you can log via RDP, a remote desktop protocol. RDP is a remote access to a device which allows you to remotely work on it, with various services and other activities. But there is one caution. For example, several testers work in one team at the same time in the same environment and test different tasks, for example. And they all try to log into the window into this Windows machine simultaneously to gain access to the log or something. But according to Microsoft RDP policy, he will have to throw one of the two testers out of the session because it turns out we are experiencing some discomfort at the work because Microsoft policy. And we can't work together at the same time. But how can we change it? Is there really no solution? Of course, we have more than one solution. The simplest and most obviously is to use the service of Microsoft Corporation itself, install the server, and then an unlimited number of users can enter to the same machine at the same time. This pleasure costs a certain amount of money, but not every company will go to extra costs just to make it easier for testers to work. The following solution to this problem is a log aggregator. One of such aggregators is Kibana, and of course, it's not just only one aggregator. We have United States-based headquarter aggregator is a Splunk. Next one is a Greylog, is also very popular aggregator. I heard about a lot of information from testers about FluentD, and we are using in our company such aggregator as a Grafana, most using for control of services, but for logs also. What about Kibana? Kibana is a part of ELK, part of the stack ELK, Elasticsearch, Logstash, and Kibana. Logstash collect and transform our logs. Elasticsearch allow us search and analyze these logs, and Kibana is our visualization part of ELK. And let's go to directly to Kibana itself. Most likely, many people dislike using Kibana. I was the same way at one time. Reading the logs directly on the instance seemed to be much more comfortable and familiar for not only testers and for the developers also. Yes, it is complicated to change something in your life. Not so easy to get out of your comfort zone. But once you try Kibana, I don't think you want to go back to your old way of life. you get used to good things quickly, and Kibana is excellent at analyzing logs. It's also happened to me. My colleagues suggested that I try this, and I did not regret it in the future. Yes, it certainly took time to learn a new instrument and extra effort to break my habits different, but believe me, it will pay off a handful in the future. This exactly like look this in Kibana. Here we can see three kind of responses. For example, 200 response, 404, and 503. We can have this percentage bar and the different visualizing. First of all, we are reading logs in Kibana, trying to use your ID, for example, if you have different error during your test, you can see maybe ID of your operation or something, and try to search by this ID, and down you can see that how many logs with this ID at the same time period. Of course, we can choose a different time period. For example, last 24 hours and last 50 minutes and etc. Also useful KQL requests, Kibana query language using for the requests. You can use different environment, name of environment, and name of service, and etc. It's also useful for our time during testing. Also, we can have possibility of a dashboard. We can create one dashboard at the same time, and after that we are using your dashboard, or maybe a dashboard created of your colleagues, and also the
Sorry, the sharing was interrupted. Could you please repeat? Sorry, Sergey, the sharing was interrupted for a while.
I'm sorry. I think this my connection is not internet connection is not stable.
It's okay. Could you please reiterate? Yeah, from this slide.
I'm sorry.
I mean, yep, the same slide. Yeah. Could you please repeat? Yes.
This one.
No, previous one.
Oh, okay.
Yes, thank you.
We have possibility. I'm talking about that we have possibility to create on your own dashboard, and after that we can use it daily, or we can use dashboard created of your colleagues also. And this dashboard, you can see all errors at the same place, and you can analyze what happens with the instance, and a very useful feature of Kibana. For all of you who missed RDP connection in Kibana, we also have such possibility. You can click on the log you find with the, for example, error, and afterward you click view surrounding documents, and you now here it is. All your logs are like in the instance in the time order. We can see what happens before your error, what happened before your error, and after that. For example, by default, we can see 5 documents before your error and 5 documents after your error. But you can change this quantity here right now and a lot more logs. And of course, we can change these default settings in the instrument settings of Kibana, and we can change to another quantity, and by default we will have it. Now I'd like to show you a demo version of Elasticsearch. This is a demo Elasticsearch. We can try to use this one and try to make your search. For example, we click on a hamburger menu and select Discover. Just a second, try to load. Okay, here we can select your different services. For example, on your work place or your team, we can have different services, but for them we can have data log, file bit, logs, and so on. And let's choose Kibana data logs. And now you can see that there is nothing because it's a very short period time, last 15 minutes. Okay, let's select, for example, last 30 days. Oops, it's strange. Okay, it's always changed because it's a demo. Just a second. I guess there is no logs for this period for the instance named Kibana sample.
Does it have some predefined data, or how this demo instance is accumulating what kind of logs?
There is some scripts that you can change during your work, or maybe your DevOps. It's to turn on, and you can search. You can choose which logs from which services will aggregate in Elastic and shown in Kibana. Okay. It's a very long period of time, but we can here we can see different logs, and we can try to search, and of course we have some tips for searching, and when you are typing your request, we have, for example, time. And we have, for example, timestamp, and we have more and less, and exist. It's a different, let's say, less 2021. And you can choose another parameter. For example, what about response? Not it's a response code equal, I don't know, no error. And type, oops. And click button. Search, I guess there is no, maybe this one. No. Okay. Let's delete and oh, what happens?
Maybe you have to specify the format of the timestamp. No?
Yeah, you of course you can specify any format, but it should be work. Okay, yes. And I'd like to show as a on my slides. You can click this log and view surrounding documents. And now we have shown all documents, right, or logs like on RDP, like on your instance, and you can see 5 before and 5 after logs. Your log, when you select, is show it as a gray color, and of course you can expand your log and see as a detailed information of this log, and you can see each log for this line. And what else? Here we can select, for example, add for filtering. You can see a plus button or minus button. You can filter by, for example, this we can see ID, and all logs will filtering by this ID. The same situation for your environment. You can see there is no log. Okay, we can filter by your environment and by your service and so on. We can filter everywhere. And what else? One more thing about filtering. We can create this filter by add filter and search this one by yourself. And of course, it's also very useful. And at the same time, you can delete this filter, and now we can show all logs when the previous. It's all about discover. What else? Another feature about visualize library. It's also very useful. You can create your own visualize library and use it every day by entering in this tab, or you can use library were created by your colleagues. For example, we can see a lot of different libraries, and there is a list of these libraries. You can see a page how to display, and you can search library by typing in the search field. What response? Yeah, we can see different responses caught over time. But with a simple way, vertical bar. Just a second. Okay, you can see metrics, which is selected for this period. And of course, you can click on each. It's all this interactive. You can click, and they are considered to apply this or not. But let's say to apply, just to show. Now you can see this period of time, which will be selected in the map, and of course you can change this time by yourself. And for example, this one, and click update, and it's changed. It's quite simple. And what about creating your own visualize library? Create plus button. You can see 3 types of visualization library. Lens, it's a simple. TCVB, it's a more advanced analyze for your data. And the custom visualization, it's a very for hard visualizing. Aggregation based, it's something new. Use our classic. No, it's I guess it's also simple. Okay, let's say about simple lens, and now you should select what is field you can filter. No. Okay. Just select another instance, for example, logs. And okay. Response, no. Okay. For example, destination address, you can click plus button, and details should be shown on your visualize library, but nothing happens because I guess time period is too short. Let's say 7 days. Okay, anyway, nothing happens, but you can select different bar. For example, bar, stacked bar, maybe pie, alliance, tree map, whatever. And it's another useful feature is where is it? Not. Count records. You can select you can select maximum, minimum, sum, and different average, for example. It's a very useful if you need count maybe some trends of your errors, or maybe on something else. It's very useful. And what else? What else? We have another feature of API requests in the Kibana, but I think in the demo version it's not possible to create. But it is here. No, I can see. I think that's it. Of course, welcome questions and answers, and I'd like to be helpful for us.
Thank you, Sergey. It was a great talk. May I ask you just the question from start? For example, when you found something interesting in logs, how you will share these logs with developer who is gonna fix it?
Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot about this. Yeah, we have such possibility to share. We can download as a common separated value CSV format. We can it's demo. It's demo. It's not possible to save. It's disabled, but you can do it in the your production or maybe your development environment on your work. Maybe this here. Yeah, it's oops. Yeah, well, here it is. Share, and just a second. Endless loading.
Favorite animation of every user.
Yeah. Here you can see, of course, common separated value reports. Generate is disabled because it's demo. But why you are cut this possibility? Here you can take snapshot and copy link, and also
I think there is
saved object disabled.
Possibility to share just the link to the single document. For example, if you open any log entry, could you please check?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. Yeah, view single document. Yeah, I think this one is open. So this link should be enough just to see the one entry. Right?
Yeah, just one. But yeah. Just one is not interesting for our explosion.
Yeah,
because
I understood, but I mean, if the scenario is like you found a bug with 500 error and you want to share what kind of error it is, you may just use this approach.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Folks, please ask questions. I allowed unmuting. Sorry for interruptions during the talk because we have like a bunch of spammers. But now you may ask questions loudly.
Yeah, hello. I've already wrote in the chat. My question is, what are the options to configure this sending of logs to Elastic?
Yeah, there is options. In our team, it takes care our DevOps, and he creates different scripts which can allow take logs from your service and aggregate in the log stash and transfer to Elastic. I guess it's a stack manager, no, and maybe administrator. I don't really do this kind of work because it needs to take only once time, and after that you can use all logs from your service.
I'm also not like a professional regarding this setup thing, but as far as I know, you have to add some services like FileBit to your deployment, and this FileBit will just pull the logs from your, let's say, Docker containers. And your Docker containers should be configured to use this FileBit, or I don't remember the name, but you should configure your deployment to send logs, not to just plain files or something, but to the specific service, and this service will take care of the records. As far as I remember, it's called FileBit.
So anyway, it can be a starting point to find the information. Okay.
Thank you. So thanks again, Sergey.